Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm wearing a snuddy and we're going to be taking a look at Tom Aspinall's most recent update. He did an interview with One to One, the dude from that journalist, the one that's like okay, one of the few journalists that's okay around the MMA scene. You know, one of the guys that occasionally doesn't press Dana White. That's the wrong way. Doesn't press Dana White, but you know, sometimes he'll be a bit cheeky with it. Sometimes he'll get a little bit cheeky with it. But he did an interview on One to One, and we've got a bunch of timestamps to go through. So our first one, nice and easy, 20 seconds in. As soon as the video starts, we're just going to skip the intro and get right into this.
We'll start with the ramifications, what happened after Abu Dhabi. And that, as you announced on social media this week, mate, you're having to go into surgery in the next week or so. First and foremost, talk to me about the consequences of it in real terms, the layman terms of after the eye poke, you come on, what are you dealing with?
Well, I'm at the point, mate, where I'm like, I don't just want to keep banging on about it, but I'm also aware that we do have to talk about it. So I'll address it. Just not being able to see properly, mainly. So that's going to be sorted. Well, the first eye is going to be sorted next week. We're going to have surgery on that next week. Second one's going to be done midway through January. So
When you say you can't see properly, describe it so people can understand it.
Well,
is it like double vision?
Double vision.
Is it
double vision? Yeah, double vision.
it's just constant?
I'm not blind.
No, I know that. I know you can see me.
I'm not going to pull Stevie Wonder, mate. I think my eyes fully poked out, but yeah, just double vision, mainly.
Well. Surgery on both eyes? My goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. Now that's pretty damn serious. That's pretty damn serious. I guess everyone that thought he was faking it looks a bit stupid now. Looks a bit like a moron now. All those eye specialists on X and in the comments section of my previous video discussing this, I think they should have the medical license taken away, because clearly they haven't got a fucking clue. Let's continue. Our next clip, 2 minutes, 39 seconds. Let's go. Absolutely ridiculous. People coming in here pretending to be eye specialists off of a fucking clip. Now this bit's very important. This is where the mask very first starts to slip on Tom Aspinall, and you'll see what I mean. Let's get right into it.
And what has happened? Has there ever been in this period of time a concern for you that, obviously from a health point of view, of getting your vision back to full health, but has there been thoughts of whether you'd be able to fight again?
I'm just thinking about my health at the minute, to be honest. I'm not even thinking about any of that stuff, because you got to like take one step at a time, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. Obviously, the plan is to go back and beat the living daylights out of Cyril Gane. That's the plan. But right now, the short-term plan is to get back to where I should be, get back in the gym.
Why?
And there you go. A lovely little appearance from Bully Tom there. A lovely little appearance. I mean, I just want to get in there and what was it? Beat the living daylights out of Cyril Gane. That's it. The mask's starting to slip. You can tell the frustrations building within him. Every time Cyril gets mentioned, his face turns into the stoic little kind of vibe. He's biting his lip a lot. It's a little bit zesty, I'm not going to lie. But we're going to skip all the way through. We're going to get to, let me see. A lovely 12 minutes. Well, okay, we're a bit further along than that. 12 minutes and 5 seconds. Not very quick with that one. Not on point with the timestamps today, guys. My apologies.
Or how they would have dealt with it in that moment. But something needs to happen, doesn't it? Something needs to happen going forward where attitudes change towards fouls. And I'm not just talking eye pokes, I'm talking fouls in general that are not part of the rule set of the sport.
Yeah, I'm still under the notion, like, if someone's fouling, they do it once, you can be deemed it as an accident. If they do it twice, plus, the other person's allowed a foul as well. I love that idea.
What a freebie.
Yeah, freebie. Right, we're fighting. You kick me in the nuts once. The ref gives you 5 minutes, whatever, to recover, however long they give you. We restart, you do it again. The ref says, right, Adam, you stand there, open your legs. He gets a free one. I think, mate, I don't see why that's...
And there we have it again, the mask slipping on Tom Aspinall. Bully Tom is coming out with he looks so excited with that suggestion, absolutely fantasizing about a universe where the rules were a little bit different, and he got to blind Cyril Gane. He gets to blind a defenseless Cyril Gane in retribution in the middle of the octagon. He's loving it. He's loving it. Look at his face. He's so happy with that. And the interviewer's laughing, but you can tell that he's terrified. That's a polite laugh right there.
I don't see why that's... I'm being deadly serious. Why?
That was politeness right there. That was politeness. That was, oh God, I hope he doesn't poke my eyes out. Ugh.
Why not? If you do it once, it's an accident. If you continue to do it, it's not an accident. So that should go across the board from all fouls.
Listen, you've been on the receiving end of this, so therefore...
And yeah, so there you go. Bully Tom making an appearance, given the suggestion that if a foul takes place, okay, one time it's an accident, but a second time it's deemed a foul immediately, and the other person gets to dish it back to you. The example he gave was obviously if you get groin shotted, your opponent has to allow you to get a groin shot back. But in his head, he's imagining a universe where he got poked in the eyes, and the ref was like, "All right, Cyril, stand still, open your eyes nice and wide. Tom, get your lip back." That's what he's like imagining. When he's saying that, he's thinking, yeah, man, I'd love to be able to just get it one free shot right in both eyes of Cyril Gane. With one free shot, give me the chance. But we're going to skip a little bit further ahead. We're going to go to 14 minutes, 29 seconds. Where is it? We'll get there. I'm not even going to edit this either, so it's going to be horrific.
Has Cyril reached out to you or not? Or any member of his team or anything?
Not that I know of.
How does that make you feel?
I'm not bothered.
I asked that question because
the slow linger after the question, like the camera lingers on his face, and he just looks like the anger's building within him. And even the interviewer's a bit shook right now, Now let me rephrase the question. Let me come at this from a different angle. Because
if you've caused harm in some way to someone in some way, shape or form, you would think that there would be, especially with it being a sport, that there would be a reach out and say, listen, man, this is the way it was. Didn't mean it. Get well soon. I'll see you next year sometime. But that's not happened.
No, not as far as I'm aware.
Bit of an interesting line of questioning. Has Cyril Gane reached out to you? Tom says no, not that he's aware of. Not that he's aware of is an interesting one. I think that's just a careful choice of words, because I could see him being like, no, he hasn't said a thing, and then Cyril would be like, actually, I have reached out, I have messaged you on X, and it's like, oh, I haven't got an X. Tom's like, oh, I haven't got an X. I haven't got Twitter. It could be a situation like that. Not that he's aware of. Nice little covering all the bases. He does look frustrated here. He does look incredibly frustrated here. Fortunately for us, we'll just continue straight on. In fact, before we continue straight on, he said he doesn't care that Cyril Gane hasn't reached out, and sure, that's a lack of sportsmanship, but I suppose what would you even reach out and say? It's kind of obvious that Cyril was doing that shit deliberately. He's gonna message you and be like, yeah, actually, that wasn't deliberate. Oh, by the way, I did not mean it. I was pointing over there. I was like, look over there, Tom, and you ran into my fingers. It was crazy. It's not going to be like that, as it was quite throughout the first round was throwing those eye pokes for the fingers, throwing those fingers for the eye pokes. I mean, blatantly so. So yeah, I mean, the lack of sportsmanship was already on show when he was repeatedly trying to poke the eyes out of Tom Aspinall's head. Why on earth would he give a call? But yeah, I could see that. I could see that being bad sportsmanship. If you injure somebody, if you accidentally injure somebody in a sport, even if it is a fighting sport, and it could cause long-term career-ending damage potentially, because eye surgery, man. Eye surgery isn't like eye surgery is a bit weird. Eyes are weird organs, man. Eyes are weird organs. You can blind yourself in one eye, and the other eye just goes blind. like the sympathetic organs. If you hurt one eye, like you've been poked in the eye and both eyes have closed, because the sympathetic. If you damage one eye severely enough, even if the other eye is perfectly fine, it will go blind as well. It just will, out of the trauma, from the trauma of it. So, like, you know, potentially career-ending damage. Still potentially career-ending damage. What if the surgery doesn't go well? But Cyril not reached out. It is kind of bad sportsmanship. I don't know. It was already obvious he was a bad sport anyway. He's always been a bad sport. He cheats in every single fight he's ever had. He even kicked John Jones in the nuts, you know? So, could we expect sportsmanship? Nah, not really. Not really.
I could tell just from the energy that you're feeling right now that you're feeling. I want to phrase this the right way. Maybe ill will's the wrong word.
It's because of the jacked up shoulders, mate, in this lovely tracksuit.
No, but there is an anger there, isn't there? I can see. I know you're smiling, and I know that there's, you know, you're your normal self, but there's definitely an anger there towards everything that's happened.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back, but my health's got to be right first. I ain't going to do nothing compromised. I'm not going to let my ego take over. Everything's got to be right. So when the time is right, however that looks, whenever that is, that's the plan.
We spoke about how...
And there you go again. You know, the interviewer, I don't even know this guy's name. I should know this guy's name. I forget it. The interviewer, you know, picked up on Tom seeming a little bit angry in the interview. It's not anger. It's frustration. It's frustration. Tom has been sidelined again. You've got to think. You've got to take into account. You've got to take it all into account. Tom Aspinall gets sidelined with a knee injury against Curtis Blades. Ends up out for like a year? Ends up out for a long time. Gets his way to the top. Fights his way to the top. Fights on short. Takes short notice fights, man. Takes some short notice fights. Saves some events. Steps in. Knocks out Sergey Pavlovich at the time. A monster in the division, and now he's got a shot against John Jones. John Jones sits out and wastes a good chunk of Tom Aspinall's prime when he should have been in there fighting, defending a belt. Then Tom has to go and do a defense on an interim title. Gets his loss back against against Curtis Blades, who he obviously had his knee blown out against. And now this, and now his first fight defending the actual belt now that John Jones has vacated. His first actual fight, he gets poked in the eyes and he's sidelined again for God knows how long. 2 eye surgeries back to back. Yeah, he's maybe he's not angry. Maybe it is just pure frustration. Like he even said there, what was the quote? It was just want to get back in there. And he looks fucking devastated when he said, look at his eyes. Look at his ghost eyes.
You're your normal self, but there's definitely an anger there towards everything that's happened.
Yeah, I want to.
That's the face of devastation. Can we get the face of devastation?
Everything that's happened.
It's as he's contemplating.
Yeah, I want to.
There, that's the face right there. That's the face of contemplation. That's tragic right there. That's frustration. I've been sidelined again. God knows how much longer of my career I'm going to be sat at home, unable to train, unable to fight. You know, that's what it is right there. That's pure frustration on the face of Tom Aspinall. Pure and utter frustration. And you know what? I feel for him, man. It's actually tragic. It's actually quite tragic. It's quite sad. I mean, imagine not getting to do the thing you love because you keep getting injured doing the thing you love. It's a pain. Bit of a Dominic Cruz scenario. We're going to skip ahead to 16 minutes, 1 second. If we can land that, 16 minutes will do.
Change your perspective on life as it change your perspective on relationships, all sorts of things.
Well, people turn on you really quick, you know. And you always hear it, don't you? Like, people like start, you know, maybe getting jealous and want to drag you down when you get to the top. I never really experienced that, to be honest. But people will turn the back on you quick and give their opinions publicly, even if they're your friend. And you think that maybe the fact is that they're not your friend, and they'll come out and say certain stuff and stuff like that when you have a relationship with them. And I just think it's I've learned, mate. I've learned a lot. And I've learned that the people who care about me, and there's a lot of other people that I thought that don't, and that's great learning experience, mate. I'm nearly 33 years old, and I'm learning some good stuff for the future of my life, which is great.
Like what?
I mean, I feel like that right there is probably a reference to Chael Sonnen and maybe Anthony Smith, because, you know, right after the fight, you probably know this by now, right after the fight, Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith were up there giving some crazy ass takes. I think he's specifically referencing Chael Sonnen. He says either just before this or just after this that he doesn't want to mention anybody by name. He doesn't want to make anybody's week. And that's why I think Chael, because Chael's on the YouTube, and if Tom says, oh, you know, I thought Chael was my boy, thought Chael was my friend, and then, you know, he was slagging me off in the post fight, giving some crazy takes. You know, maybe that's what's going on there. Which, you know, it would make sense, because up until the eye poke, Chael Sonnen was firmly in the corner of Tom Aspinall, like, was singing the praises of Tom Aspinall fairly regularly, was talking about this was the guy to beat John Jones and whatnot, and John Jones is scared of Tom Aspinall. Like, Chael was in the corner of Tom for a good little while there, and then the eye poke happens, he's on the post-fight show, and he starts giving some absolutely pathetic takes, and I'm talking, like, more pathetic than Anthony Pussy Heart Smith's fucking career, okay? Like, more pathetic than that. Although, it is worth mentioning that Chael has backtracked on that since. I think he just got too much heat and was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Chael does that a lot, though. Chael will come out with a fucking crazy ass take in the moment, and then be like, oh, well, I was wrong about that. Well, actually, I never said that. I said maybe that. Or something like, you know, that's Chael for you, though. You know, undefeated, undisputed. You know, always on a technicality. But yeah, I mean, that is the update. That's the update. Tom Aspinall, as of the time of making this video, has had surgery on one eye, which is the worst eye, and is scheduled for another one in like a week or so. A week or so from now, maybe 2 weeks from now. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Not out the woods yet. Like, let's stay positive. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes crossed. But knock on wood. But yeah, hopefully he gets better, man. Hopefully he gets better. Eye surgery is no joke. You know, one of the most complex and most delicate organs in your body. So, you know, anything could go wrong. It's good that he's in good spirits. I'd like to see I'd love to see him come back. I really would. I want to see him come back. I want him back as soon as possible. I want him to run it back with Cyril gone. I want him to wipe the floor with Cyril. He was taking over that first round. Sure, maybe he lost it. But I think if it goes that extra 10 seconds, 20 seconds that was left on the clock, I think Tom steals the round. I really, really do. He was outscored by 3 punches, 3 strikes, and was turning up the volume. He was going to steal the round right at the end, if not getting poked in the eye. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see an absolute domination when he returns. I think he'll come back with no eyes. no, I don't. Yeah, but I hope he gets better. I really, really do. I hope he gets to come back, and I hope he gets to absolutely pummel Cyril Gane into the ground. But yeah, that does conclude it. Not out the woods yet. All the people who are eyeball experts on X and in my comment section, you're all morons. You don't know anything. Evidently. Here we are. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking, maybe subscribe for more. You know what? Finally, some content. It's been like 2 weeks, hasn't it? It's been like 2 weeks, guys. It's been tragic. 4 more weeks to go, and then we can talk about it. I'll probably do a video talking about Gagey and Paddy in the next couple of days, so keep your eyes open for that. Until next time, keep your chin down and keep swinging. Peace and love. I'll see you around.